Welcome to this week's Monday Music Motivation. Pardon my paint samples over here. We're going to be doing some office renovations in the next couple of weeks, which is always fun and exciting. But today we're talking about the two keys to success. This is true, I think, for all areas of life, that you can use these two keys to success to find success. But the cool thing about it is once you know what you're doing and like this path, then success really becomes inevitable. It's 100% true that there's just really two simple things that you have to do. Now, they're simple, but not always easy. So that's the real trick. But let's get into it and let me tell you a little bit about what these two keys are. So the first one is persistence and dedication, commitment, those kinds of things where you have to make sure that you're doing the work. Most things to achieve anything takes work. So you have to show up, you have to do the work, you have to make it happen. The second key is you need to know what success is and what you're aiming for. It's entirely possible to practice every single day for years and years and years. And yes, you will probably get better if you're practicing every day. You're going to get better. You're persisting. You're doing the work. You're going to make progress. But finding success, maybe not so much. Maybe you're getting a little bit better, but maybe you're going in slightly the wrong direction. And you can imagine if you're thinking about driving somewhere or walking somewhere or whatever that may be. If you're headed in the wrong direction, you can end up very far off from success very quickly. This is a direct clarinet analogy to this is say you're doing something like anchor tonguing and you don't realize anchor tonguing is wrong. You're working on your articulation. So you're getting better and better and better and better at anchor tonguing. But that's not the best way to be tonguing. Anchor tonguing, for anybody who doesn't know, is where you anchor the tip of your tongue like to your bottom lip or to your teeth, and then sort of tongue with the middle of your tongue. So instead of the tip of the tongue hitting the tip of the reed, the tip of the tongue is down here and sort of the middle of the tongue that's hitting the reed. And you can anchor tongue. There are professionals who anchor tongue successfully, but tip of the reed is way, way, way better, way easier to go faster, easier to get clean quality, and is the way like probably 98 or 99% of professionals do it. So it's much better. So you can see it just by having that one slight thing. And this is so slight. It's literally like maybe an inch difference of where your tongue is in your mouth. Uh, but the more and more and more you do it, the more you're going to be settled in and have that as a habit, and the stronger that habit's going to be in your brain, so the harder it's going to be to change it. So you can see how important it is to know where you want to be going and make sure that you're setting your sights on the right success and have success really well defined. The other side of defining success too is you could be practicing and going and going and going and doing the work, but if you don't know what you're going for, if you're not challenging yourself with harder pieces or trying to improve things, then you can easily just stay stagnant rather than growing as you go. Now, the other side of this is the persistence and the actual doing of the work, because you can be as clear as you want. Like, I know I've watched all of the quick start clarinet videos. I know where my tongue's supposed to touch on the reed. I know how I'm supposed to be practicing. I know the 3-step warm up. Like, I know all of this stuff, but I actually only get the clarinet out like maybe twice a month. And maybe sometimes when I'm practicing, I do these things. Sometimes I don't. Uh, Again, not practicing, you're not going to go very far if you don't practice. So that's the other big side of it. You have to know what correct is. You have to know what you're going for. You have to define success. You have to be having that sort of North Star guiding you. But then you have to actually walk the path and move towards it. You're never going to reach the goal if you're not moving, and you're never going to reach the goal if you're not moving towards the goal. You can be moving, but in the wrong way. So hopefully that makes sense. One other little nugget that I want to throw in here while we're at it is there's this very interesting idea about sort of the path to success. And again, this applies to all areas of life. And we can absolutely see this happening in clarinet and music. is you start out, you want to do something. Say like, I want to play XYZ piece. I want to be able to learn all my scales, whatever it is. Like you set that goal that you're going for. The way that it feels once you've decided that's the goal and you start working towards it is it's really easy. It feels like smooth sailing, all like downhill. And then it sort of bottoms out and it starts to just be boring. It's not exciting. You're not like, "Woo, I'm going fast, getting towards my goal." You sort of bottom out and get stuck for a minute, and then you have to start climbing back up the hill to eventually reach that goal. So it's not a straight line to your goal. It's more of a canyon. You could think about like if you're biking the Grand Canyon or something. That sounds very exciting. Super easy going down, flat bottom, plateaus a little bit, and then it's really hard coming up. But what we don't realize is when we're making that way up, we're very close to the goal, and that's when we need to work the hardest, and when we sort of keep going to make sure that we're moving forward and pushing through that finish line because that's when the resistance is the highest, but the reward is the closest. So persist, keep going, keep doing the work. Oh, somebody on YouTube says, have you seen the clarinet etudes this year? It's kind of hard, TBH. It's slurring, then tonguing. Any tips? Yeah, definitely. And of course, with these live things, I still love answering your questions. So feel free to ask questions live, or if you're watching the replay, always questions are great. I assume for the etudes this year, you're talking about some kind of like All-State or something like that, which I'm assuming is probably like a rose etude or something like that. But I can definitely answer the slurring and tonguing. So the key to articulation is you need to make sure that you're not messing with anything else. So keep the air and the embouchure strong and steady through the slurring, like you're probably naturally doing, but make sure that you keep that strong and steady as you start to move the tongue, because that's what always happens is the slur goes great, and then we're thinking about tonguing, so then the air maybe changes, the embouchure maybe changes, and then as the tongue moves, the tongue position changes too much, and that throws us off. So I would practice it super, super slow so that you can really pay attention to all those variables and just make sure it's no embouchure change, the air pressure stays strong. Yes, the tongue stops the vibrations of the reed and the sound stops, but the air is still there. So immediately when the tongue comes off, it sounds great. So get the quality first, and then you can worry about the speed. The secret to speed, whether it's tonguing speed or finger speed, is it has to be relaxed and minimal motion. And then to fit that sort of into the framework of today, you can make sure that you are tonguing with the tip of your tongue. You're having that air support going. So that's sort of keeping things correct. And then also have an idea of what you want it to sound like, what tempo you're going for, and then just persist every single day. Know what you're going for. Make sure that the quality is going well every single day as you do the work and get closer and closer towards your goal. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can all see how success is really simple. You just have to define it and then persist and keep working towards it, and eventually you'll get there. It's only a matter of time. The only way that you can be stopped from reaching your goal and reaching success is if you're not moving towards the goal every single time you practice and every single time you play, or you're not moving and not going anywhere. So hopefully that helps. Let me know again if you have any questions in the chat, or in the comments below, even on the replay, and I'll be sure to answer those questions. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you next week on the next Monday Music Motivation. Have a great week, everybody. And most importantly, don't forget to fill out your timeline or your template. This is mine for the week. Right after this, fill it out, date for the week, reflection on what's going well, your goal going forward, and your plan for when you're actually going to make it happen this week. So I save that for the very end so that you can get off of this video and do it right away. So good luck with that. Keep moving towards those goals. And again, that's the point of this, is to help define where success is and keep you persisting and moving forward and getting it done. So good luck with that, and I will see you next week.